VoxMundo, English story time especially slow and clear English for beginners original story. Ellie and the Forest of Whispers. Hello, and welcome to another video from VoxMundo. Today, we will listen to a story in English. The story will be told slowly and clearly, so you can understand and learn new words and sentences. This is a great way to improve your listening skills and enjoy the beauty of the English language. Are you ready? Let's begin. Ellie lived in a small village called Windmere, surrounded by golden hills and quiet forests. Her home was a cozy cottage wrapped in ivy and colorful flowers. She loved sitting by the fireplace and listening to her grandmother's old stories. The most enchanting story was about the Forest of Whispers. The villagers said the forest spoke to those who dared to listen. Every evening, Ellie looked out her window at the dark trees on the horizon. She wondered if the stories were true. One twilight, with a heart full of courage, Ellie decided to find out. She wore a soft blue dress and her brown leather boots. She tucked a small notebook and a pencil into her satchel. Her grandmother's silver pendant gleamed around her neck. With a deep breath, Ellie stepped into the evening mist. The path to the forest was narrow, lined with tall grasses, swaying gently. Fireflies floated around her, lighting her way like tiny stars. An old wooden bridge crossed a quiet stream, whispering secrets as water flowed below. The trees grew thicker, and the light dimmed into a soft golden haze. Ellie entered the Forest of Whispers. Immediately, she felt the air shimmer with ancient magic. The trees were tall, with bark like old leather and roots like twisted sculptures. Every step she took made the ground hum faintly beneath her feet. Silver leaves drifted from invisible branches, twirling slowly as they fell. Ellie caught one in her hand. It was warm and glowing softly. She pressed it against her heart and felt a sudden surge of calm. The forest seemed to breathe with her. Deeper inside, she found a small clearing where the light pooled like liquid gold. In the center stood a great ancient tree. Its bark was carved with glowing symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. At its base was a hollow filled with a soft blue light. Ellie approached carefully, awe shining in her eyes. As she touched the glowing roots, a soft voice brushed against her ear. It was a sailor's lost song, carried by the wind. Then another, a child's laughter frozen in time. The voices were like forgotten memories floating through the leaves. Ellie opened her notebook and wrote down every word she could catch. As she wrote, the glade brightened, the tree's light growing stronger. It was as if her attention was bringing the forest to life. Suddenly, Ellie heard her name whispered among the branches. She turned and saw a young girl with autumn-colored hair. The girl smiled warmly and said, "I am Aria, guardian of the whispered voices." Her dress shimmered like woven mist. Aria took Ellie's hand and led her down a hidden path. The path curved gently through the woods, lit by flickering fireflies. They arrived at a pool so clear it reflected the stars beneath the surface. Floating islands drifted lazily above the water. Arya knelt and scooped something from the water, a small glowing seed. She placed it in Ellie's hands. "Plant this in your village," Arya said softly. "Let the voices live among your people once again." Ellie promised, feeling the seed pulse warmly against her palm. She asked Arya if the forest would disappear once she left. Arya shook her head. "The whispers will always find those willing to listen," she said. As the first light of dawn touched the treetops, Ellie made her way home. The forest seemed to part for her, guiding her steps gently. She crossed the wooden bridge once more, feeling different somehow. She was carrying a piece of magic with her. When Ellie returned to Windmere, the village was still sleeping. She hurried to the center square, where an old oak stump stood. Carefully, she dug a small hole and planted the glowing seed. The ground shimmered slightly before settling into stillness. Days passed. At first, nothing seemed to happen, but then tiny sprouts of silver and gold appeared at the stump's center. The sprouts grew quickly into a beautiful tree with silver leaves. Children gathered under the tree, feeling peace in its shade. The elderly sat nearby, smiling as memories returned to them. At night, the tree shimmered and sang with soft whispers. It told stories of lost dreams, forgotten loves, and hopes reborn. Ellie became known as the listener of Windmere. She would sit by the tree every evening, writing the new whispers in her notebook. Travelers came from distant lands to listen and share their dreams. Windmere became a village of voices, a place where every story mattered. As years passed, Ellie grew older, but her heart remained light. She never stopped listening. The forest remained hidden beyond the hills, still guarding its oldest secrets. But sometimes, if the night was quiet and the moon was full, silver leaves would fall from the sky. Ellie would smile, knowing the forest of whispers was greeting her. Children would chase the falling leaves, giggling as they caught them. And every new leaf brought a new story to the village. Windmere became a place where no memory was ever truly lost. Even after Ellie's hair turned silver and her steps grew slower, she visited the tree daily. She taught the children to listen carefully, not with their ears, but with their hearts. Because sometimes the quietest voices held the most powerful stories. And sometimes those stories could change the world. One evening, as Ellie rested beneath the silver tree, a soft breeze kissed her cheeks. She closed her eyes and heard a familiar whisper. It was her grandmother's voice, singing the lullaby from her childhood. Tears of joy slid down Ellie's wrinkled cheeks. The villagers gathered around her, holding lanterns that glowed softly. They listened together as the wind sang of adventures, loves, losses, and hopes. The village had become a living storybook, thanks to Ellie's bravery, and thanks to the Forest of Whispers. That's it. It was great being with you. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. VoxMundo is with you.